So this is my logbook for the week 4 of the Sad Club. So what did we do in this week? So we did the dances of things I do when I'm upset. We're like gods, and this is what it feels like. We also went through Craig's scene, not the opening scene. Sorry, well, it's the first scene we say, but not the first. Obviously the things I do when I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to say, I forgot the song. We Are So Happy, the opening song, and then the first scene is Craig's scene. And I also practiced my monologue with Deb, so it was sort of like a one-to-one session. Chloe Owen was also in there, so she was helping me out, and she's a past student at the college. Okay, so let's start off by talking about the dances and how I find them and what I've got out of them and what's my weaknesses and strengths of them. Okay, so dances were really good. I'm not gonna lie, I like the dances. Nikki's taught us like a few of them already. We don't know them off by heart, but we've got an idea of them. So the things I do when I'm upset, we're gonna have pillows. Meaning we are gonna do a box step like the idea I suggested last week. So doing box step and going back and forwards, and whilst holding these pillows. And so it goes, the songs is like, the lyrics are, sometimes I get a hottie, get a bath when feeling rotty, pet my lovely dog. So on the pillow we're going to have a dog. So sort of things like that, which is really good, an imaginary idea, and I felt that really well. And that was a good strength of mine, because something that I've took, that we're doing pillows, and I've applied that to my dance and how I'm going to use the pillow in my dance. So that's really good. We did We're Like Gods. So Debs wants it to be very like vocal and show that we are gods. All of us are gods, and how we are reacting to these sort of things as gods. This is what it feels like. Is after my David's relationship scene. So that's sort of, it's not very nice. Sorry, it's not very nice to be how he's developing and how he feels with that. Yes. So the dances, very good. They're developing a lot, especially the opening. We did the opening, I forgot to say, we did the opening scene, and we are now doing that. So there's different sections. So we've got some rugby players, we've got some beach people, we've got some university students, we've got people that are at parties, obviously lighting a cake. So we've got loads of things happening on the opening scene, which is really good. So straight away when we open the show, that we are the audience and Jacob. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? So that sort of stuff on the stage was really good, and I really want to bring that to the show. I want the audience to be like, wow, like, what is this? Like, it's really good. Okay, so talking about the Craig scene, and how I found that. So obviously the dances, I didn't use my voice, so I can't talk about that. But I could talk about the research of Craig's scene. So Craig's scene, he is talking about he wants to beat David Garn, me, in a swim race, and how he's going to cope with that. And obviously in between the scene we have a swimming race. So we're sort of having ideas on how we're going to do this swim race. How can you show that we're going to do a swimming race? So Debs has had an idea of just one big blue sheet, and there's 3 blocks with David, and the other racer, which is going to be Ed. Obviously, he hasn't got a name, but we need 3 racers. So Ed's going to be the other racer. And how we're going to show that, and how we're going to do that. So we're sort of, us being the blocks, maybe doing that, we're sort of doing the lifts. So yeah, we had an idea of doing this lift. So when I dive, we practiced me getting lifted up. How did I find that? Really good. I was a bit nervous at the start, because I was scared, obviously, like, people, I'm not saying they would drop me, I trust everyone that's working with me, but so I've written here trust, so trust was the main thing. I've also written here it's very imaginative, so like there'll be a lot of doing the lifting. We'll all be lifting at once, so the students that are on in the race will be lifting us, and it's a really good idea. So like Craig will be lifted, and we'll show how Craig's got lifted, and then people could lift us going around the stage with us swimming whilst we're getting lifted. So that's how we did today, and it felt really good. It felt like we got a lot from it. We felt like we were developing a lot. We felt like we were showing to the audience what we were doing. Yeah, so that was really good. We also so now we're going to move on to a monologue for David. So talking about that, so how this is a lot of respond to feedback and direction sort of things. So it's one-to-one, me and Debs talking about my log, how I'm finding it. So talking about that, responding, research, I'll do the characterization and research first. So the research of my character. So Debs, I've done the research of my character. So when I was doing it, Deb said, right, you've got to imagine Dee is on that block. Imagine that she is there, and she's like, that she is your everything. You've got to imagine that you absolutely love her. So I've got to apply that. So I'm going to do some research of techniques of how you truly tell yourself that you're believing it. And obviously I found out it's all down to the mind. And then characterization. how is my character David is developing really well, and because I'm practicing every week, I'm now at the point where I know most of the lines. It's just a bit on the end that I know I can don't use as a script. I can just pick it up whilst I go along. I also talked about the techniques that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use a lot of emotion. Emotion is key. We talked about that it starts off really happy at one vibe, and then suddenly goes down. So I'm going to add those two emotions into that performance at different times and really connect with the audience. So the characterization is going very well. I chose a technique of hot seating last week, I've got to say, because it really gives you an insight of how your character is developing and how he's going to react in certain different situations. And what have I learned about the characters from carrying out these activities and stuff? Obviously, an activity of working with Debs, and how I've worked out that I am going to be doing at this point, I am going to be very upset. At this point, I'm going to be very happy and excited. So the bit where I'm saying she gets up and she's crying with which I personally think is happiness, but it turns out not to be. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be jumping up. I'm going to be clapping people. I'm going to be doing as much things as I can to show the audience that I'm happy. Whereas they know, the audience they know as an audience that she's not, whereas I know. So that's a Stanislavski technique right there. So the audience know that I'm not. They know that she's okay, but I thought she's fine. So now talking about choosing skills and techniques on this sheet as well, using this sheet all the time. So we talked about that, obviously the practitioners, that was sort of a bit lasty. And what rehearsal skills did we use today? So obviously I was very vocal, I was very physical. Obviously I've written down here, I need to do breathing exercise. Yes, breathing exercise. When I'm doing David monologue, I maybe at the start, because I'm quite nervous, I was quite out of breath, because I'm saying a lot. I'm cramming in. I'm starting way quick. Love is me and D. We've been together for about 3 months. It's sort of quite a fast pace, if you know what I mean. And the research I'm finding out and what scripts I'm using and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so how have I responded to feedback and direction? So obviously, Deb's told me to do it in different ways. She's told me I've responded that very well. So she said, I want you to actually believe, and I only keep telling you to do it until you actually believe that you love David, you love Dee, and you really want her. So how am I responding to that? Very well. It took me a few times, but Deb's told me how to improve, and I responded to that, and it was really good. So now I'm going to work on that. I've worked on the points that she said. She said the points that raised. She said that I need to believe that D is on that black. I need to believe that D is that jelly box. And the feedback I feed was to be very less pacey again, and make sure that my articulations, because I make sure I'm saying every single word so that clear, so the audience understand. And recording rehearsals, what decisions you made for the character. That the decision this week that is very vocal, very happy, and vocal at the start, where it gets very quiet and sad at the end. So yeah.